Okay, class, so can someone tell me what they remember learning about character from yesterday? What did we learn? What did we talk about? Kelsey?
From the Big Bad Wolf character?
Yeah, from the Big Bad Wolf.
How he had a big nose.
Did he have a big nose? So we're talking about his nose. What does that mean we're talking about character? What did we learn specifically about character?
Physical characteristics.
Yes, that's a big word. Did you learn that at home?
Yeah.
Good job. You guys got a good vocabulary. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how characters can change. So they have personalities, right? Because a person has a personality. Or an animal has a personality. We learned that the Big Bad Wolf is an animal. So can your personality change throughout a day? Or can you kind of act differently, look differently? If I were to describe your clothes, would they be different tomorrow? So I'd have to describe different clothes. So characters can change. So I have a fun book for us today called Antonio on the Other Side of the World Getting Smaller. And so Antonio's a character, and we're going to listen and look at the pictures and see how he's changing from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. And then we're going to work together as a class to figure out what those are. So Antonio went to visit his wonderful gran on a tiny island on the other side of the world. They had a whale of a time paddling around in Granny's boat and tossing jam sandwiches to snippy, snappy sea monsters. So what does he look like now? What do you guys see?
He's smaller than the other people.
He's smaller than the other people, yeah. We know that, is he a boy or a girl?
Boy.
He's a boy, so we know he's a boy. And from the title of the book, what do we know his name is?
Antonio.
Antonio, yeah. But after a week and a whole heap of fun, Antonio couldn't reach the oars anymore. And after another week and another heap of fun, he couldn't even see over the side of the boat. So what do we know about him right now? We're at the beginning of the story, and he looks what?
Small.
Smaller.
He looks small. Yeah. I love having you here, Antonio, said Gran, but you're only half the size you were when you came. You miss your mom, that's the problem. You miss your mom, and it's time to go home. So Granny made him another big bag of jam sandwiches, kissed the top of his sweet little head, and sent him on his way. So what do we know about his feelings right now?
He misses his mom.
He misses his mom, yeah. Antonio got a job on a ship, sailing for home. You're a little small for a cabin boy, said the old captain, but I suppose you'll do. It was hard work and rough seas, but I'm on my way home, said Antonio happily, for I want to be home with my mother. You still see? He's still pretty small. Little Antonio reached dry land at last, but by now he was smaller still, a whole heap smaller. You're too little for an engine boy, said the train driver, but I'll see if I can find you a job. So Antonio rode up to watch out for sheep on the tracks. I'm on the way home, he cried to the sheep. I'm on the way home to my mother. And he blasted a blast on the whistle. Whee! When Antonio got off the train, he spotted a cowboy, climbing down from a hard day in the saddle. Do you think I could have a ride on your horse, sir? Said Antonio. For I'm on the way home, he sang with a smile. I'm on the way home to my mother. You're a little small for a cowboy, said the man, peering down at him, but you can borrow my horse if you'd like. She's much too lively for me. So up Antonio jumped and off he galloped. Yes, I'm on my way home, he cried as he rode. I'm on my way home to my mother. And he hung on tightly, did the brave Antonio, till he'd ridden the range and tamed the wild horse too. Though by now he was only a slip of a thing, with being away from home so long. Finally, Antonio got to his house, but he was so tiny that his mother didn't notice him. Hi, Mom, he squeaked, but she couldn't even see him, and she hardly even heard him. What's that? She said, looking all around. Is that a mouse? So is he still pretty tiny? Yeah. It's me, your son, cried Antonio, pulling on her skirt. Who's there? Said his mother. Is it an imp? Little Antonio jumped up on the table, right in front of her eyes, and yelled, It's me, Antonio, home at last. Well, wasn't she amazed at the sight of her son, home from afar but oh so small? She hugged him and kissed him and put him on her knee and said, It's great to have you back, dear, but could do with some fattening up. So what do you think he's feeling right now? We know he was missing his mom in the beginning. How do you guys think he is now?
Good.
Happy.
He's happy, yeah. So she fed him bread, and she fed him milk. She fed him meat, and she fed him carrots. She fed him cake, and she fed him porridge till he grew, and he grew, and he grew. In time, Antonio was so tall that he could sit on the roof, shout, "It's good to be home," and wave his wonderful grand on to the other side of the world, and his granny waved back. The end. So what we're going to do is I have some Venn diagrams. Do you guys remember doing Venn diagrams a couple weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and do that again. I'm going to pass this out. Make sure you put your name and date on the top. I'm going to make one up too with you guys. Okay, so we're going to, on the line at the top, we're going to put, who is our character? Who's the character that we're watching change?
Antonio.
Antonio, yeah. So go ahead and put Antonio on the line above your Venn diagram. Make sure you're capitalizing his name because it's a name. Okay, so on this side we have in the beginning. Okay, so what do we know about how Antonio was in the beginning?
He's hungry.
He was hungry, yeah. So I'm going to write hungry.
He was lonely.
He was lonely. What else do you guys have?
He was small.
He was small. And I want to make sure you guys are writing all of these down in your Venn diagram. Can you guys come up with one more by yourselves?
Missed his mom.
He missed his mom, yeah.
He's a boy.
He's a boy, but so is he a boy at the end?
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. We'll work on that. We're going to, in the middle one, you see that something didn't change. We're going to talk about what didn't change in a little bit, but right now we know that he stayed a boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he wasn't like that. Because we're comparing and contrasting from the beginning and from the end. Okay, so I'm going to put boy, since you said boy, right in the middle, because that never changed. And then you said, what did you say for another one for in the beginning?
He missed his mom.
He missed his mom. So do you guys all have 4 things in the beginning part of the Venn diagram?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like you guys do. Good job. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and go over to in the end. Because we're comparing and contrasting first. What is it like in the end? How is he different from the beginning?
He got big again.
He got big, yeah. What else do you guys know about him that's different?
He wasn't lonely.
He wasn't lonely. Trevor, do you have one?
He was full
He was full. Why was he full?
because his mom fed him a lot of food.
Yeah. He needs his mom to be fed. And can you guys come up with one more?
He was happy
He was happy. What was the other thing you said?
and loved.
And loved. We'll put those together. Those are great. So, you already mentioned one that's something that really didn't change. He was still a boy. So, that's not really a difference from the beginning to the end. Is there anything else that's the same about him?
His name.
His name? Yeah. And what was his name?
Antonio.
Good job. So, you guys remember learning about comparing and contrasting in past lessons. And so, you could see that you took, so he was hungry. So, you can automatically put over here, he was full, right? Because that's what's the big difference. So, you can see that these two kind of match. And then over here, you have that he's lonely. And now he's happy and loved. And he wasn't lonely. So you kind of see how they're going together, but they're kind of opposites. So that's really kind of how you guys want this Venn diagram to be. Great job, guys.